Good evening. Welcome to WFUZ-TV. I'm Blair Castro, and I'm here today with Thomas Jenkins. And we have a very special guest today in the studio. It is Commissioner Matt McKenzie, who is running for Baldwin County Sheriff. Mr. McKenzie, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
We really appreciate you coming to talk about your platform and a lot of your experience and your run for sheriff.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'd love to hear more about, we'll just start with the main question, what motivated you to run for sheriff?
Well, you know, with my background, being an Alabama State Trooper, retired, I wanted to get into politics, and so I wanted to run, for a position, and I knew the county commissioner seat was coming available, so I put my name out there to run, and I won the race and became a county commissioner. And I knew that Hall Smack, there was rumors going around that the current sheriff was going to retire probably within his term, so I went ahead and put my name out there in the hat. But with my background being a state trooper and being a county commissioner, I love helping people. That's the main thing, is help people and protect people. I think now at this time and with Hall Smack retiring, I think the sheriff's office needs a new vision, a new set of eyes. And law enforcement's been in my background, since I was a young kid, because my father was a constable here when we had constables in Baldwin County. He was a farmer, but he was a constable too, and I just always wanted to get into law enforcement.
And you're from Fairhope. Was your family originally from the Fairhope area too?
Yes, ma'am. South of Fairhope in the Barnwell community. My father was a farmer, and my mom was a school teacher at Foley over back in the day.
It's such a nice area. I love it there.
Yes, ma'am.
And you also have a military background. You were a Marine.
Yes, ma'am. I am a Marine. I served from 1990 to 1995. Most of my time was overseas at the American embassies. I worked as a Marine security guard, and I love that. That was, how many Marines or can say that they write up ambassadors or people that work at the embassy for violating or leaving their safe open or their top secret documents on their desk, and we go around the embassy and search and write them up. But
so accountability is
important. Accountability. It is, and that's why the Marines are there. That's not the only reason Marines are at the embassy, is to protect the property of the United States and protect the U.S. citizens there. And it was a good experience, and sometimes I kind of wished I'd stayed in the Marine Corps before I got out. But I love the Marines.
Yeah.
It did me great, or did me good, I should say. It taught me or give me discipline.
Absolutely, and we certainly appreciate that service for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
And so, keeping government accountability is important to you as someone in office and running for another office.
Yes, sir. With the Baldwin County Commission, and we have around a $248 million budget, and we've got to be responsible for the citizens, for the taxpayers' money, and since I've been on the county commission, the four of us have really done an excellent job of conserving and make sure we do everything right. So it's been an honor to be a county commissioner.
Yeah, it's an exciting time, especially with it being are we now the number 6th fastest growing county? Yeah, that's incredible.
That's nationwide, so everybody's moving here. The tours come here, and they see what Baldwin County's like, and I've heard from some families that say, "Man, I love it here. Let's look at selling our place where we live, and let's move to Baldwin County."
Sure, absolutely.
So it's, as long as we can. I know it's been difficult because of the influx of people moving here, the roads, the infrastructure, and everything's getting impacted very much, and it's hard. But we've got a good county engineering department that's doing a great job and trying to help out with the infrastructure. And y'all know that infrastructure takes time. You can't just go widen the road and take up people's property rights
Right.
So it takes time. I've been on the commission 3 years now. Well, August will be 3 years, and there's a road in Bon Secours that the citizens reached out to me, and it's still in the process. We almost got it there where we can go ahead and lay asphalt, but there's one more little hurdle that one citizen doesn't want to get up, but I think we're almost there.
What are the biggest hurdles that you find in your position trying to get things done like that?
Well, it's the biggest thing since I've been on the county commission is planning and zoning. Planning and zoning for a new commissioner is a nightmare, because you got so many other things you need to be doing and learning, but planning and zoning is so big in this county, it takes a lot of time. And when I think I've learned something, I didn't. It's already, something's changed, and I forgot it. And it's just difficult, and we have to make decisions for citizens that that live out here that own property. Are we going to rezone it? Are we going to allow that to happen? Is it best for the citizen, or is it best for the county? And it's tough.
Is real estate law statute constantly changing like criminal law on a year-to-year basis?
I haven't seen that since I've been a county commissioner. And just like you said, criminal law changes, at different times with new legislation. But I haven't seen that since I've been a county commissioner.
So one thing we noticed, there's only 4 commissioners, and then the planning zoning, it has like 7 or 9?
Yes, sir.
Why is the county commission for such a large county at such a rapid growth so small? Why is it only 4?
Well, and what I've learned so far is when I was working here as a young trooper, there used to be 7 county commissioners. And I think there was a lawsuit brought up, and I don't know the whole story, but they reduced it to 4, and you had to run at large. You couldn't run by a district, so you had to run at large. Now, do I see in the future that maybe a 5th county commissioner is beneficial? Yes, I see that in the future. Do I see a 5th county commissioner being the full-time chairman? No. I think that the chairmanship should rotate between each county commissioner. It's not a lot of authority. It doesn't. It gives you more. You just have to sign more paperwork at the end of the day. I think if you have a full-time chairman with Baldwin County, you will create an issue. Now, a lot of people say, "Well, Matt, it will cause continuity and make it easy." No, it's going to make it difficult. I think in Baldwin County, if you have a full-time chairman and the rest of the county commissioners are just part-time.
Yeah,
I think so too. That could make some uneven power dynamics there, and I think it would be smart to have it rotate as well. That's what most other counties do anyways.
Yeah, and there are some that have full-time, but that's up in, I think, Madison County, but we like it right here. And if 5th commissioner comes, if the citizens want that, we'll go with the citizens want. Let the people make that decision. Let them vote it on.
we've done some thought games just around the house, just talking about like how things are going. And what do you think of if there was a North Baldwin and South Baldwin and you had 2 separate commissions and split up the governance and the resources that way?
I don't think would work, and y'all know this. I've lived here most of my life, and most of the population is going to be on the eastern shore and all the way down to the L shape of Baldwin County. Mm-hmm. I think if you split Baldwin County into 2 sections or 2 counties, if that's what you're at, I don't think that would work.
We'd seen Chris Elliott had proposed that at one point.
And I don't know how true that is. I've heard the rumor. I haven't heard it come directly from him because I know they were talking about the school issue and all that issue. Yeah. But I don't think this county. We've got a lot of history right here, and I don't think that would be a good thing to split the county into to make it 2 counties. That's not. I don't think that's the right thing to do.
I'd like to see more satellite offices though, because us having to drive an hour to Robertsdale or Bay Minette is like, it's in terms of distance and more technology. So what I'd really like to see is like you can do stuff via fax or email and don't have to come every single time, drive an hour for a piece of paper. It's really burdensome, I think.
Well, and I think what the county commission needs to do, and we have a strategic plan as for the future, is look at, like you just said, another place to help the citizens. And we're doing some construction work at the Robertsdale Annex, and it's an inconvenience for the citizens right now because we had to close it down to do a lot of major work inside and make it better. Mm-hmm. It is an inconvenience, but that's anything. If you build a new house, you're going to have inconvenience. So but it's a short term. We're going to get it done. But I think you're right. In the next 5 to 10 years, we've got to look at that. We've got to look at another courthouse, a major courthouse in Bay Minette, because of the growth that we're having here and new judges that's coming to Baldwin County. The people are moving here. That y'all see it, and so we're our planning, and we've got staff that looking at things like that to help us, to help in the county commissioners.
Go back to the infrastructure thing, and you mentioned the Robertsdale Annex. I think that's something that people don't realize is so important, the timing on these infrastructure projects.
Sure.
So yes, like you were saying, we want these roads widened, we want this lighting, we want this roundabout, or some people don't want the roundabout, but we want different things done, the pedestrian bridge. But what's been frustrating to me, having moved here, is to see the timing of things play out. I feel like, I understand we have to wait on things, but it'd be
Sure.
nice to see the timing a little more thought out in terms
Sure.
of lights go up first, or lights are fixed and then we add the neighborhood and then we do this.
Right.
It just feels like sometimes it's really counterintuitive, but I do appreciate that you say yes, these things take time, and people they're, I want this done now. Like,
No,
maybe
yeah.
you don't want that done now, because if it's in the middle of the summer, maybe we wait till the winter when it's the dead season and we're not like overflowing the traffic with tourists.
Well, you said a perfect example is just what you just talked about. Or excuse me, what I'm going to mention is that the Fish River Bridge, it's owned by the state over there on US 98. They're going to redo that parking lot. Well, they closed it like June 1st. That's the peak of the boating season, but it is what it is. They said they had to close it due to that was the money that they were getting from Go Mesa, the federal money and everything else that they're getting to do it, and they had a time frame. But it is what it is. Thank God the county wasn't involved with that. That was the state, because I was getting calls and calls. Why are they doing this June 1st through August? That's the peak of the boating season, and people wanting to take their boats out. So it was an inconvenience. And I think they're almost about finished, but you're right. That is some things that our engineering department is looking at, and make sure that we don't do it as an inconvenient. We wanted to look, and I'll go back to the Robertsdale thing, the Central Annex. We looked at putting portable trailers out there to help the citizens, hook up their computer, do their tags, do their license. But it was going to cost the county taxpayers a lot of money, and we didn't want to do that. We wanted to go ahead and put the money towards the construction of the Central Annex, and it's moving right along. It's an inconvenience, and I know I hate it too, because I have to, people are going to have to. They're calling me left and right, but that's my job.
Yeah,
that's my job.
One thing that we thought of, I think yesterday, going up the expressway, the new high school is on the expressway. Is that area of the expressway going to be school zoned or directed by law enforcement? Is there going to be concern for students trying to get to the new hot dog place that's opening in the middle, just crossing the highway on foot?
Yeah, I really don't know, because most of that is in the Gulf Shores and Orange Beach area, city limits.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We turned that Baldwin Beach Express over to the state. They're responsible for it now, not the county. I
guess I should have posed that question more of as from a law enforcement perspective, like what do you do right there?
That's something that's going to be really have to take your time and look at, and get engineers involved, because and see how much, because there's a lot of traffic there.
Yeah,
is it worth putting kids across there to go to a hot dog stand? I think they're probably going to have to say no. To be
Absolutely,
honest.
yeah.
And just keep them away from that, and just keep them. And I know the kids are going to want to go to that gas station to get something.
Exactly, yeah. And it didn't even occur to me until the full complex was there. I was like, wait a minute, there's a gas station. Are they going to have a school zone slowing traffic down through there?
That's going to be between Gulf Shores and Aldott. They're going to have to work that out. But I would think they would put a school zone through there. Just my opinion. I think they probably should. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it should.
I imagine you get a lot of misdirected questions with people that just have no idea where to go, and they're like, "You're the county commissioner. You must be like the most powerful man in the county." I'm going to ask you.
Some do, some don't. Before I came here, I stopped at the gas station. I said, "Hey, I'm one of your county commissioners, and I would like to, I'm running for the sheriff next year." And they looked at me like, "What is a county commissioner?" So some people don't know what a county commissioner are, and that's okay. And that's all right, because it's just part of it. They don't pay.
It's the concerned citizens that have broken blinds from peering out the window at speeders up and down the street.
But some citizens do know what a county commissioner, what they do, and they do reach out to me, and I'm very proud of that, because if I can't help them, I will try my best to find somebody that can help them. Reach out to different contacts, and like I think is we need a partnership with the federal, state, and locals. If I got that contacts, I can reach out to them and say, "Hey, this citizen needs some help with something."
And that circles back to your running for sheriff. Like, what is the biggest thing you hope to accomplish? Given the opportunity.
Well, if the good Lord puts me there, because that's what I believe, is God's got a place for all of us.
Amen.
If He puts me in that, then I want a better relationship with the locals, with the state and the federal. I don't know how it is right now because I don't really want to comment, but I've heard in the past that there was some issues with the relationships. Now I don't know if the new sheriff has amended that. I don't know, but what I would like to do is have, with my background, is have a relationship with the LEA. When there is a when there is one of our officers in Baldwin County that's involved in a shooting, we need to stay out of that. I think the state needs to get involved. We don't need to have a
internal.
Yeah,
absolutely.
When it's one of Baldwin County officers, when I mean city, the sheriff's office, regardless, I think the state needs to come involved and let them do the investigation. Now, I'm not saying that with the major crimes unit that Baldwin County does have, it's not a good thing. It is a good thing. But when it comes to something with one of our officers, we need to stay out of it in Baldwin County. Get somebody, a third party or a state agency to do the investigation.
Yeah. On the inverse of that, we would like to see more interagency coordination for things like human trafficking. We just had a huge headline: a Ukrainian immigrant came to Gulf Shores to human traffic a person, and we were made aware that sheriffs don't know each other and they share borders, and so we want to make sure, especially with things like the pedestrian bridge coming in, more entertainment district coming to Gulf Shores, that Baldwin County and all of the agencies are just completely interdepartmentally coordinated on things like that.
No, and if I get elected, that's one thing I will be working with Pensacola, Escambia County, Florida, Mobile, you name it, Escambia County, the surrounding areas sheriffs, because you got to have that relationship.
Yeah.
You got to be able to talk to them, say, hey, this is what's going on, or share information between each other. It doesn't matter if you're across the line in Florida or in Mississippi. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're here to protect the citizens.
The people are ready for proactive administration.
Yes.
That was one of my greatest prides in my career, was that I worked for the Escambia County Sheriff, who I absolutely love and adore, and I was so proud of that work on his campaign and going forward, helping the foundation with their digital work a little bit. And I know how much they care and how much they put into things. And when I see other agencies and I say, here's some best practices that might work for you, I'm doing that not in a I know best way, but in a way like, this is super effective and I've seen it work, and it has helped people and saved lives. So I really just want to share it, and then I get shut down or things like that. That's kind of disheartening. So I would love to see the different departments working together in a more collaborative fashion, and to be open to discussions. And I'm hopeful that you would be willing to go to these sheriff conferences and meet with other sheriffs and chief of police, and have it's a great idea to get people together. Even the mayors have conferences too, and people don't know that exists. But I feel like if you're working in these jurisdictions, meet with the other people who do the same job as you and see what's going on in that area. Don't isolate yourself in a silo.
No, and that's the same thing with the county commission. Throughout the state of Alabama, we have an association, and we mingle with other counties, county commissioners throughout the county, throughout the state, excuse me. And that's something, it doesn't matter what color uniform you have. You need to be able to communicate and say what's going on, or what badge you have. It doesn't matter. We're all here to protect you as the citizens. So, no, I agree 100%.
So tell us a little bit about what's going on with the waterway and the different agencies and some of the squabbling that's going on.
I've read and I've spoken to a lot of the ALEA troopers, the border patrolmen that's out there, doing their job every day. And I'm hearing it. I see it in the paper. I talk about the Mobile Sheriff having issues with one individual trooper over there. And, being a retired state trooper, what I would have liked to seen is that sheriff not go on the media or go to the or social media or anything like that. Go to the local supervision and speak to supervisors, and see what's going on. Tell them your concerns that citizens are complaining. Don't run to Montgomery or go to the paper. I think if I get elected as sheriff, that's one thing I will not do. I will not just jump the chain of command or throw somebody under the bus with the news people. And I will go to that local supervision because I know how it works. I'm a Marine. I know how the chain of command works, and I expect the sheriff. I know the sheriff expects his men to do the same thing, use the chain of command.
Sure.
So I know he's elected. I get it. I do. I know the sheriff's an elected position, but you still have to respect and give that local officer in Aaliyah to ask them, what's going on? Is there issues? Do we have gung-ho officers in every profession? Yes. You got young ones that get a badge and they think they're bulletproof and they think they can do what they want. But that's where it takes supervision and good leaders and senior personnel is to talk to those individuals and try to see what's going on.
How would you say that you are set apart from who's in office now?
Well, with my background being a Marine, I served in the Marine Corps, I made sergeant, worked my way up there in 5.5 years. I got to leadership. The difference between the two of us is that I'd worked the road. I worked at midnight shift, and my family didn't know I was coming home. I've done that. I've worked different counties. I've been up Clark County and away from my family. To get promoted, I had to go away from my family because of the position that was available. There's a lot of us. Between me and him, there's a lot of difference. Now, he does have the administrative section because Hoss Mack, when he was the sheriff, Hoss appointed him major over a division, and so nothing was given to me. I've earned mine. So that's the difference between the two. And he was appointed sheriff, and I respect that because the governor's appointed him. But there is a difference between the two of us, and I want people to understand that I know what it's like to be out there and to write reports, go to domestic calls, go to accident scenes where there's fatalities, go to the families and notify them that they've just lost their loved one. I've done that.
Have no backup when you're in a really hairy situation. Yeah.
Because in rural counties, troopers don't have a lot of backup. They're out there by themselves.
Right. And so I worked in a small town of less than 1,000 solo shift patrol, and the neighboring sheriff's department hated us and wasn't going to come back us up. So it was literally me with a radio that works sometimes.
That's right.
And unless you know what that's like, that experience is so important, especially when it comes to leading other officers that are doing that. You have to have some understanding of what that is.
I've got if like I said before, if I get a point or get the position, if the people elect me and God puts me there, I've got a gentleman that I'm going to bring back. He retired from the sheriff's office, and he worked his way up from deputy to major. So he went through the ranks. And so that's my go-to because he knows the office, the back of his hand. He just retired. So that's somebody that I want to bring back to be my chief deputy. Because he is a people person, he knows how to treat people, and he treats people with respect and treats them and be fair with them. Because Baldwin County right now, the sheriff's office, is what I've heard through the grapevine, is that they have double standards. And what I mean by that is that one deputy gets in trouble, and then you got another deputy that does something else that's higher rank or in that buddy system or that group, and he gets lesser discipline actions against him. And I just feel like we need one standard, treat everybody the same, regardless if it's a deputy or a major, you treat them the same. Now the deputy probably get more discipline against him or that major because he knows better. He's been there. He's done it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A new deputy that might have a little minor infraction or in violation, you might slap him on the hand and just write him up, but you could save him. You can teach him and make him better. One that's done it been on 25 years and 30 years.
That's a pattern,
That's a pattern. So but anyway, that's I didn't want to get too much into that, but that's the difference between me and the current sheriff is that I've worked the road. I've been out there and had to notify families and seen it.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Have you noticed any resource deficiencies in the department that you would like to see obtained?
There's really not resources. There's some units that I want to create if I get in office. The immigration is one. When I mean by that, when I was a state trooper, I was back in, I think it was 0204, that we were certified in immigration. We had dual arrest powers. And we were the only class, there was two classes that the troopers were trained in, or that was trained, and that I had to have probable cause. I can't just stop you just because you look like you're here illegally. No, you got to have a speeding. any type of contact for that reason, why you have a contact with them. So, and then I would determine, are they here legally? Do I have the paper? Do you have your paperwork? Do you have your passport, work authorization, all the documentation? And if you didn't have that, then, we could detain them, put a detainer on them, process them to the federal computer system, and then put them into the local jail if the local jail had an MOU. And that's something that I want to see. It's called a 287G program. It's a federal law that municipalities can have that authority. Cities can do it. The sheriff's department, a sheriff's office can do it. The state troopers can do it if they're trained in it. And right now, under President Trump, he wants that. I've heard through the grapevine that that's something that the sheriff is looking at. This current sheriff, because I've mentioned that at different meetings, so they're starting to learn what I want to do, and that's okay. As long as it happens here in Baldwin County, that's great.
Yeah.
I want to see a Marine Patrol unit here in Baldwin County. And what I mean by that, I don't want them down here in Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, because there's enough Marine patrolmen down here to patrol the waterways.
Yeah.
Now, if they're called upon because of a search and rescue or drowning, I want them to go.
Hurricane,
Take off. But I want them to work, because we got enough waterways in Baldwin County, the bay, the rivers. Work those where people can see you. I'm not saying go out there and harass those,
right?
Or do safety checks. Go out there and let them see you that they're out there.
Make sure it's not the Wild West.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I think it's a good thing. And I know and I know the other sheriff is going to say the same thing, because since I've been on the county commission, is that funding is not there. And I'll get on that topic if it's okay.
Absolutely.
Funding for the sheriff's office is around $48 to $49 million, give or take. It goes up, every year a little bit because of the way that things are happening, cost of living, everything.
Yeah.
But that's something that with me being on the county commission, that I see what's happening, and it's up to the county commission to fund the sheriff's office. So the county commissioner has to find ways to try to get a Marine Patrol unit. I'm gonna have them obstacles because boats are not cheap. None of that's cheap. Insurance, to get insurance for a deputy to be on a boat is very expensive.
Sure.
But I think it can be done because Baldwin County does not receive a lodging tax. We get no percentage of the lodging tax in Orange Beach and Gulf Shores. It says it goes to the county on paper, but it goes to the tourism organization down here, 2%.
Yes.
10% goes to the city in both cities, 4% goes to the state of Alabama. Baldwin County gets nothing. So what I want to see do is get our legislators, because it's a funding source. I'm not saying tax the residents, the tax people that come here and stay at the B&Bs and the condos. But I would like to see in the future Baldwin County get something. And what I mean by that is the unincorporated areas. Don't add more to what's already down here,
Right.
16%. Do it in the unincorporated areas of Baldwin County, and that will hit all the B&B people, the Airbnb stuff, people that rent out property and stuff. I think we can generate some money for public safety and infrastructure if we do it that way. And what I mean by public safety, I don't mean just for the sheriff's office. I mean for the local fire departments too. That could help. So that's something that I would like to see within I'm hoping the next 2 years. But I don't see it until we can get legislators involved, and some of them don't want to push that issue. I was told by a local senator that Baldwin County, the commission can levy 3 cents or add 3 cents gas tax right now without legislators. The county commission can vote on it right now today if we had a meeting. No, I'm not doing a 3 cents on individuals that lives here. I will vote no on that while I'm on the county commission, because that's a lot of money. And that's a lot out of your
Better
pocket.
ways to do it.
Yeah, there's better ways we can do it. Tourists yes, we hit the tourists, but tourists are going to come if we keep Baldwin County and Orange Beach and Gulf Shores like it is now. People love it here. They love to come here.
Yeah, there's an appeal, and hopefully, we don't overbuild that appeal,
That's right.
trying to cram
right.
people in.
I had 2 points I wanted to bring up. Number one, I wanted to just mention, for me, I notice a difference between you and the current administration in that you're very humble, but you're willing to come in here on this podcast and meet with us, and you are responsive. You are a very responsive commissioner in person, and my whole experience has been unresponsive, and this is multiple municipalities, governments, and it says a lot about your character that you're willing to come on here and talk with us, especially after we came to a county commission meeting and kind of like
That's
got
your
heated.
right. That's your right to come there and speak.
And thank you for recognizing that.
Yeah.
But a
Not
lot of-
everybody is.
a a lot of people would be like, I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to, you know,
Right,
and we're not
right.
trying to make people uncomfortable.
No.
And it goes back to the media being a double-edged sword because, like you said, people
Yeah.
can go to the media before they talk to people and blast things that aren't necessarily
Right,
true.
right,
And that's
right.
never what we want to do with
No,
our
that's right.
podcast or anything like that. Every time we have made a podcast or brought up an issue online, it's only been because nobody responded or we were not being heard otherwise, and they wouldn't even pick up a phone and like call us and let me set it straight. Let me tell you what's really going on.
That's right.
When you get none of that, sometimes the media is great because then it's all of a sudden things start moving and they're like feeling a little pressure from it. But what I do respect about you is that you're willing to talk and, you know, kind of cut that off before it necessarily gets to the media level sometimes, and that is a necessary part of collaboration and working together that I think people don't recognize.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was one thing when I ran for county commissioner was some of the people were reaching out to me and saying that the former county commissioner didn't return emails, didn't return phone calls. And that was one thing, I guess, the Marine Corps and the state troopers, I'm here to serve you and to help you. So I put my name on a ballot for a reason, not just to get paid and sit there and make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
It was to help you as citizens, and that's what I've done. Now, I might have missed an email or a phone call here and there, but not that many, and I'm very proud of that. And you know, being a public servant and to answer to the people, you've got to do that. Well, are they going to like your answer all the time? No. I mean, I love helping a citizen that calls me and says, "Hey, Commissioner, can you help me with my issue with flooding, or with a ditch, with a culvert, with a road?" I'll come out there and look, and if I can, if it's on private property, I can't. I've learned that. The county can't do stuff on private property unless it's an emergency situation. And I get that. We don't need to use taxpayers' money on private property. You know, that's just, but I've learned that so far, and I love to help the citizens here. So thank you for saying that. It really means a lot. And it's been hard for me to make this decision to run for sheriff because I've had so many county employees reach out to me and say, "You've been one of the best that we've had." And I'm not saying anything against the other commissioners. That's not what I'm doing. It's what I'm just saying is that's what they're telling me.
A track record's a track record.
It's track record. And that makes me feel good. So it's been real hard, but I had to, pray about it and tell and listen to my gut and, about running for sheriff. And I think I can do some good there in the sheriff's office.
Well, we certainly wish you the best of luck.
Well,
on it,
thank
for
you.
sure.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I wanted to ask that. So I'm just now realizing, do you have to give up your county seat to
No,
run? Or okay.
no.
So if you're not elected, you can remain a commissioner?
No,
Okay.
I have to, in January of coming up January 2026, I have to make a decision when I qualify, county commissioner or sheriff. You can't do both. So I will be giving up my county commission seat, and somebody else will be running for this.
Okay.
And it's the only thing that I can't, and this is common sense. You would know this as an attorney or just an average citizen. I can't campaign in a county truck. I can't campaign with a county phone or anything like that. And that's common sense.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. So that's that's the things. I don't have to give up my seat to for run right now to run for county commission. I don't have to resign or anything like that because it's a part-time job anyway.
Yeah.
Classified as part-time.
Yeah.
It's not in all counties.
I believe it.
You still got 6 more months to serve and campaign.
Well, actually, I got
outside.
a year and a half.
Oh, okay. I thought it
Because,
was
see,
2026. Was the
It is November. See, what
Okay.
happened is the election's in May. So if I lose, hoping I don't, but if I lose, I can still all the way to November.
Oh, okay. That makes
If
sense.
I win, I'll still have to wait to either November or January. So it's okay. I've got time. I still want to do some good as a county commissioner, but I'm still going out there and reaching to citizens that I'm running for sheriff.
The staggering of the local and county is really confusing now. I know they did that to make it easier, but it's like, man, when are we doing? What's going on? When are they? But that's good to know.
Well, a lot of people don't. They see in my opponent's signs already out and throughout the county, and I said, look, it's not until May. What do we have? We have summer weather storms that come up. We got the hurricane season. We got a long time, and I get it. People want to see my signs, but I don't want to go picking them up and go paying for more signs. So my signs are coming.
Fair enough.
I just don't want to put them out too early.
Right.
Because people get stagnant or not stagnant, but they just see them and then they forget all about it.
You're not wrong.
And I just don't want to. They're expensive, and they're expensive.
I just got mine yesterday, and I'm excited about it. They look
Yes,
great.
ma'am.
Please pray for the victims over and the families over in Texas.
We definitely will.
So thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, and
Yeah.
we wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank y'all.